This is your complete travel guide to Berlin. The best attractions to see, how to get around the place, weird stuff to do, and how to have the best time of your life here in the German capital. Welcome to Berlin, a city where every street corner tells a story. Whether you're here for a quick weekend trip, looking for all the historical stuff, or you're here to do some unique things, this guide will take you through the best that Berlin has to offer. But when you have a look at a map, it can be confusing as to where to start. The attractions are seemingly everywhere, but to make your life easy, split up your trip into these three areas: East and Central Berlin, the historical stuff in the middle, and the attractions in the west. There's more to do outside these areas, but these are the areas where you'll find most of what you're looking for. Getting to and from the airport and getting around the city is simple enough, and I'll tell you more about how to use the public transport system towards the end of the video. But long story short, buy an all-inclusive travel pass and you'll be fine. Let's start right here in the middle and to the most famous landmark in all of Berlin, the Brandenburg Gate, one of Germany's most iconic landmarks. Built in the late 18th century, this monument now stands as a powerful symbol of unity and peace. Its imposing columns, with the chariots drawn by 4 horses on the top, are especially striking. But I'll be honest, it'll take you all of about 10 minutes to see this and take a few pictures, and that's it. It won't take you all that long, but around here you'll find educational displays that'll teach you all about Germany's history. It's pretty interesting, some of it is a little creepy, but right next door is this impressive building right here, the Reichstag. This is the German Parliament building. After being bombed in the war, it was redesigned with its now famous glass dome. You can actually book a free of charge tour to walk through the building and see the dome from its spiral walkway, where you can enjoy stunning panoramic views of Berlin's skyline. However, you need to book this well in advance and bring your passport along with you. Follow the instructions on your confirmation carefully, otherwise they deny you entry. If you're watching this video, you'll have probably heard of the famous Berlin Wall, a wall that once separated East Germany and West Germany, that was eventually knocked down in 1989 to reunify the country. However, remnants of the Berlin Wall are scattered throughout the city, and there's many places that you can see this, which I'll describe at various parts of the video. But around here, there are 2 obvious places that you can see it. The first is Potsdamer Platz. At first glance, it's a modern business hub with shopping centres, transit stops and big buildings. But during the Cold War, it was a wasteland divided by the Berlin Wall, which you can see parts of here. It's cool to learn a brief history about the wall. Sadly, they've covered most of it with used chewing gum. Ew, that's a little gross. But a better example of it is if you go across the way, you'll come across the Topography of Terror. Located on the former site of the Gestapo and SS headquarters, the Topography of Terror is an open-air and indoor museum that provides a chilling look into Nazi Germany. Outside, parts of the wall remain intact, and you can read and learn about the history here. It's very educational, and it definitely transports you back to more difficult times. At the indoor museum is a cool exhibit full of photos, documents and first-hand accounts that reveal the brutal reality of the Nazi regime. Word of warning, there's lots of depictions of death in here, so if you are easily upset, don't come inside. Given that both of these are free, it's worth about an hour of your time to explore. Nearby, the Holocaust Memorial is a tribute to the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust. There's hundreds of concrete slabs arranged in a grid-like pattern. The uneven heights and the disorientating paths, weird Squid Game-like appearance. Definitely strange, but it does highlight the amount of people that have died here. A short walk away, you'll find Checkpoint Charlie, the most famous border crossing between East and West Berlin during the Cold War. The small white booth, complete with the sandbags and the soldiers on display, have been preserved as a historical site. It's in the middle of a busy street, and it won't take you all that long to see it and take a few pictures. If you want to learn more, head on over to the nearby museums. South of that, you'll find the Jewish Museum. Inside, the exhibits highlight Jewish history from the Middle Ages to the present day, so if you are into that, this is a cool museum. But even if you're not, I recommend exploring this area anyway, as Berlin's street art scene is legendary. The city's walls, bridges and alleyways are covered in colourful murals and graffiti, and you can find plenty of examples of this around the Jewish Museum, on the residential buildings, and it's free. If you're classy, you'll be glad to know that Berlin has culture on tap. From churches to concert halls, you can generally find these in the central part of Berlin city centre right here. The Berlin State Opera House is one of Europe's leading opera houses. It looks terribly pink from the outside, but inside it's stunning. Come here if you want to see the ballet, or the opera, or a classical recital. Nearby, you'll find the Berlin Concert Hall, which hosts classical concerts throughout the year. And whilst you're here, you'll also find plenty of churches. There are two cathedrals that flank the concert hall, the French Cathedral and the German Cathedral. Together they form one of the prettiest squares in all of Berlin. Massively under construction when I went, but it'll be nice when you get here. Around here, you'll also find Fredericks Church, St. Hedwig's Cathedral, the Catholic cathedral that looks like the Pantheon, and not at all related to that Hedwig. But the most important church in the city is this one right here, Berlin Cathedral. With its imposing green dome, it's one of the famous landmarks in the city. Beautiful on the outside and very grand on the inside, as you'd expect. Admittedly, it's like every other cathedral you've probably been to already, and on paper, it costs money to go inside, which seems like a raw deal given that it's a church. But what you're really paying for is access to its roof. It's a bloody long climb up, but once you get to the top, you'll be rewarded with stunning views of Berlin, the statues that overlook the city, and you can look down upon the entire world from here. Well, sort of. If you have a problem paying to go inside a church, it's possible to sneak around the back of the Cathedral Cafe and access it through the exit for free. You're not supposed to do that, and you didn't hear that from me of course, but that's one way of avoiding the entrance fee. Whilst you're here at Berlin Cathedral, you're technically on something called Museum Island. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as Museum Island is home to 5 of the world's finest museums. And it can get quite confusing as to which one to go to. Now, I've been inside them all, and here's the brief lowdown. The Old Museum specialises in Greek and Roman artefacts. If you're into that sort of thing, great, you'll have a fantastic time in here. But there's nothing in here you probably haven't seen in another museum somewhere. The New Museum? That's a bit of a misnomer, as everything in here is ancient. Mainly stuff from Egypt, tombs, mummies, weird gods, etc. And it's home to the world famous bust of Nefertiti, which they only allow you to take pictures of from a completely different room. That's strange. The Old National Gallery focuses on 19th century art. Great if you like paintings, not so great if you're looking for the most famous pieces. The Bode Museum features Byzantine art and sculptures, but the building was very nice. And the Pergamon Museum, which houses the monumental Ishtar Gate, and the giant panorama, was an interesting look at how the town of Pergamon would have looked and sounded like back in the day. The German Museum, don't bother, it was terrible. And the Humboldt Forum, that was okay, given that it was largely free. The free exhibits were quite interesting, but don't bother with the paid ones, as they were just a little bit out there. With all of these museums, if you have no interest in the stuff that I just mentioned, you can probably avoid them, as there's nothing you probably haven't already seen in another museum. But whilst you're walking around here, I recommend that you explore the streets, like here at Hackescher Markt. It's uniquely decorated, and it's worth it just for the strangeness of it all. Interesting decorations indeed. Alexanderplatz is this unassuming public space, complete with this world clock. This contraption apparently tells the time wherever you are in the world. I'm not sure how that works, but okay. But right next to it is the tallest thing in the city of Berlin, the Berlin TV Tower. At 360 meters high and towering over the city, it's a transmission tower that you can conveniently go up and take in some of the stunning views of the city. The best time to visit is about an hour before sunset, and wait to see the sun go down. It can get crowded at this time, but the view of the sunset and the sky turning into a plethora of colours is more than worth the wait. It's a totally different experience at night and a lot quieter too. Next door, you'll find Berlin Town Hall. This red coloured building is free to go inside. It's an impressively decorated building throughout. Admittedly, there's not that much to see, save for this cool Lego model, but given that it's free, it's probably worth about 10 minutes of your time. Across the street, you'll find St. Nicholas's Church, the oldest church in all of Berlin. It's now largely a museum piece, and if you're not a fan of church history, you can probably avoid this one. But it's a pretty ethereal experience if there's an organist playing. So that covers the central area. Let's go north of that, where you'll find Mauerpark. Known for its Sunday flea markets and open-air karaoke, if you like to walk in the park in the mornings, like I do, sometimes, it's worth a quick look. It's also right next to the Berlin Wall Memorial. A long, original section of the wall stands alongside the memorial to those who lost their lives trying to cross it. If you know nothing of the Berlin Wall, this open-air exhibit is an eye-opening look at how terrible life was because of it. To the Germans, this is part of normal everyday life, but it's pretty fascinating if you're not from around here. If you want a more colourful look at the Berlin Wall, head on over to the east side of the city, where you'll find the East Side Gallery, a mile-long stretch of the Berlin Wall that is now decorated with hundreds of artists' renderings. It's like an outdoor art gallery. The most famous piece is this one with the two guys kissing. There's always a crowd around this one, but on a nice day like today, it's fun to wander along the wall and look at some of the kooky stuff on display. Across the street from that, you'll find the Uber Arena. This is the indoor arena that houses music concerts, shows, and the city's ice hockey team, the Berlin Polar Bears. Ticket prices are reasonable. You can buy them from the shop here, and the game day atmosphere is superb. The German enthusiasm for team sports is certainly infectious, and you'll have a great time here even if you're not a fan of ice hockey. In this area, you'll find various flea markets, which is great if you want to rifle through some second-hand bargains amongst some colourfully decorated buildings, and cross the bridge here, it's a very pretty bridge, into the area of Kreuzberg, and grab a bite to eat at one of the many colourful neighbourhoods that you'll find. Markt Halle 9, a foodie paradise with global street food and local specialities, is the pick of the bunch. Let's move across to the west side of Berlin, and the first thing you'll come across is Tiergarten, the largest green space in the city. It's a vast park with tree-lined paths. It looks pretty bleak right now because it's winter, but it's a lot nicer in the summer months. At the centre of it all, you'll find the Victory Column. Another famous landmark here in Berlin, it's a tall column with a winged victory on the top. You can get up close and personal to it, but given that it's on a giant roundabout, just like the Arc de Triomphe, please don't try and cross the road, as you might get run over and die a horrific death. So use the underground walkway that'll take you to the base of the monument. Nearby, Bellevue Palace is the official residence of Germany's president. Nice building, but they don't let you anywhere near it for obvious reasons. If you have kids, Berlin Zoo and Berlin Aquarium are nearby. Home to over 20,000 animals on a large park space, they do come highly recommended if you're entertaining family and you want some kid-friendly attractions. The zoo in particular is famous for its pandas. So if you've never seen a panda before, come and have a look here. But just outside of the zoo, you'll find what remains of Kaiser Wilhelm's church. Bombed during the war, it's been preserved in its ruined state as a war memorial. You can go in for free and marvel at the interior, beautifully decorated, complete with copious amounts of war damage. And if you want a trippy experience, go to the new church directly opposite, which resembles a nightclub on steroids, with this rather strange looking robot Jesus overlooking you. Praise Creepus. It's one of the wildest churches you'll ever visit, but quite nice, I guess. At this point, technically, you're on Kurfürstendamm, Berlin's famous shopping boulevard. It's one of the busiest streets in Berlin, and it resembles Oxford Street in London. But honestly, there's nothing new or unique on here that you haven't already seen. An alternative is to go to Berlin Mall, which is located outside Potsdamer Platz. And it's a shopping centre very similar to every other shopping mall that you've probably already been to. Some other attractions that you might be interested in is the German Technology Museum, full of giant planes, Nazi trains, weird automobiles, ancient boats, and a terrifying rooftop terrace where you think you're going to fall to your death. In my opinion, it's probably one of the better museums of this kind that you'll find in the city. The Natural History Museum also comes recommended, especially if you have kids and you want to see some dead animals on display. You'll also find dinosaur bones, including the world's tallest dinosaur, rocks that would look good in my living room, stuff that belongs in a horror movie, and the world's most famous polar bear now permanently resides here in stuffed format. The Old National Gallery, great if you like old paintings and you're interested in art, but avoid the new National Gallery next door, as it's just a little strange, with weird pieces that most people would consider junk rather than art, and it's somewhat pornographic in nature. The Musical Instruments Museum was actually okay, but don't bother with the Communications Museum, gorgeous building but dreadfully boring exhibits. And that's pretty much everything you want to see in Berlin, and it will take you about 3 days to do all of this. However, if you're here for a bit longer, I recommend that you visit some of the out-of-the-way attractions. The first of which is to the west of the city centre, and it's Charlottenburg Palace. A Baroque palace with lavish interiors and gardens. Once the summer residence of German kings and queens, it's beautifully decorated inside, and if you're into royal history, this is a very absorbing place to have a tour around. You'll be amazed at the architecture and engulfed in the decadent history of former royals. Even if you don't want to pay to go inside, the grounds are free, so be sure to have a walk around here, as it's quite a peaceful garden to walk around. If you head further west from that, you'll find the Olympiastadion. Built for the 1936 Olympics by the Nazis, it's now home to the city football team, Hertha Berlin. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'll be making a separate video right here, but given that it's a historical monument and not just another sports stadium, it's definitely worth a visit. If you have much more time, a trip to nearby Potsdam might be your thing. It's a picturesque town about 25 miles outside of Berlin, with pretty streets, historical gates, beautiful gardens, and various royal palaces. I'll be making a video about that in the future, but I actually preferred this town to the actual city of Berlin itself, and I'll explain why in the video. Definitely add this to your list if you like to explore quaint little towns with character. Overall, Berlin has something for everyone. From its storied past to its many museums, vibrant neighbourhoods and cool attractions, add this to your bucket list if you are a fan of wartime history or you just want something different in a city break. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to Berlin, Germany. You'll most likely fly into Berlin Brandenburg Airport, and to get into the city, locate the transit station outside Terminal 1. There are many trains that will take you into the city centre, but the easiest to spot is the S9 train, which will take you through most of the major train stations in Berlin in about 50 minutes. The RE7 is probably the fastest train, and that'll take you to the centre of Berlin in about 25 minutes. So pick the one that suits your needs. To buy a ticket for this, simply go to any ticket booth, select your language, and buy the relevant ticket using cash or credit card. Once it spits out a ticket, you must validate it on one of the ticket validators like so, which you'll find everywhere on every platform. It will print the date and time on it like this. Then, all you need to do is board the relevant mode of transport, as there are no barriers to entry. In theory, you could walk on without paying. However, plainclothes ticket inspectors are everywhere, and if you're caught without a valid or validated ticket, it's a €60 fine for you. To save you the hassle of buying tickets and potentially getting fined anyway because they're not validated, I recommend buying an all-inclusive pass for the duration of your stay. Zone A will cover most of the attractions in Berlin, Zone A and B covers almost every attraction, and Zone A, B and C covers the airport and Potsdam too, so pick the one that suits your needs. You can also do this via the app, which I'll leave on the screen now. The transport system is simple enough to use, and it includes the buses, trams, the U-Bahn, which is the underground stations, and the S-Bahn, which are the local trains. Admittedly, it's not all that intuitive like it is in London or Washington, etc., so be sure to download an offline map to your phone and use it to help you get to where you want to go. After a couple of days, you'll develop a sixth sense on how to use a combination of trams, buses and trains to get you to where you want to go. The cost? Well, quite a lot of attractions I've mentioned in this video are actually free, so it can be a low-cost city break if you're into all the historical stuff. You'll be spending a bit of money if you want to visit all the museums, and if you do, I recommend that you buy the Berlin Museum Pass, which will allow you access to 30 museums over 3 days for one low price. You can save yourself a boatload of money with this one. But eating out is probably the most expensive thing that you'll do here, as the food prices in restaurants are a little on the high side. If you are on a budget, stick to supermarkets and bakeries, and you can survive without spending much money at all. If you're looking for a place to stay, there's two options. If you're coming with family and have kids, stay on the west side near the zoo, with the shops, the aquarium, the parks, etc. is probably your best bet. If you're a sightseer, or if you're coming on your own, stay as close to Alexanderplatz as you can, where most of the attractions are located within easy reach, and the transport links here are excellent. You'll thank me when you can get around the city quickly. Is there anything else I need to know? Yes. Berlin is actually quite a big city, and it will take you a while to get around, even with public transport. Don't be tempted to walk everywhere. I mean, you can, but it will take you forever. Get familiar with the transport system and you'll have a much better time. There's quite a lot of graffiti, literally everywhere. It's a shock to the senses and it's not to everyone's taste. The spoken language here is German, but most people speak excellent English, so you'll be fine if you're a native English speaker. The currency here is the euro, and Germans prefer that you pay with cash. Credit cards are widely accepted in most, but not all places. As with the rest of Germany, if you buy anything in a glass, bottle or can, you'll be charged a deposit fee, which you can get back at one of the many recycling machines around the city, usually located inside supermarkets. Unlike here in England, jaywalking is a crime, and it's one that you can be fined for. So don't be tempted to walk across the street without seeing the green man being lit up. Lots of attractions and shops are completely closed on Sundays, with most museums typically closed on Mondays, so always check the opening hours of things on these 2 days. If you found this video helpful in planning your trip to Berlin, please share this video on your social media, give it a like, and subscribe for more travel guides from around the world. Tweet me if you want to see guides for another city or destination, and thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.